All right, good morning, or good afternoon, or possibly even good evening, depending on where you are and when you're watching this recording. But my name is Craig Blanchett, and I'm one of the hosts for the our boot camp. This is our August September boot camp. This is the fourth one that we've done in as we've been working through building this series to take and build the skills necessary to go from basically a brand new health coach and move your way up to helping at least 5 people. And when you know those particular skills, you can help more than 5 as well. And then once you've done that, then you can teach somebody else to do what you've done. And so these are those basic skills that every coach needs to do to have a flourishing business where you have lots and lots of people that you're working with and lots of lives that are being changed in the process. And so we are in week number 1, and week number 1 is kind of the basics of um, getting started as a health coach. And any type of business or any type of a um, something that you want to do. Let's say you wanted to start playing uh, poker. Well, you would probably like poker. So in a health coach, you like health, you like helping people. And then if you're designing a poker tournament or party or something like that, you got to write down a list of people that you want to invite to come play poker with you, right? And so it's the same thing here. Is you anytime you have a business or anytime you have an activity that you're doing, you make a list of people that you want to invite. And so this is the exact same thing as far as health coaching. And we really just need to get our minds on track with what it is we're actually doing. And so we start with making a list, and then as we go down that list, uh, we figure out which people would be inclined or would we want to invite to join us in whatever activity we're doing. The nice thing about the difference between a I want to get you healthy list or a list where you're looking for people that are specifically overweight is that if you just create a master list of people that you know, don't make a list of people that you don't know. You may not know the person, but you know, like I don't know my male person, but I know I have one. So I can find out if that person, my male lady, and then I can actually make an effort to go find out who that is. And so it may be a male man. I don't know. Anyway, but you start with making your master list, and then you sort that list based upon what you're doing. You know, if you're going to have an event that's local, you would want to sort that list based upon people that are local. And if you're going to have something, maybe you had an online healthy happy hour. There's an idea. Well, now you can invite people from all around the country. So I'm curious as we're getting started. I know that I think Troy's here. Yep. So Troy, welcome to our um, work group.
Morning, Craig.
Week 1, session 2. How are you this morning?
Good.
Troy's
Hopefully, am I coming in clear or no?
It's better. I mean, you're handsome as usual.
Okay. So, as we kind of off this morning, Craig, a couple things is I'd like to know some kind of takeaways of what people thought of our Saturday training.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd love to do that. I'm going to jump in because you are a little sketchy, but yes, I'd love to hear those of you that were on the Saturday first week boot camp. If you have any new ways of thinking about a list or the activity of salting, of building relationships through that acronym of SALT and then forward. So if you guys, you can either raise your real hand or you you can raise your Zoom hand and jump in, and we'll learn your experiences from that. Who wants to go first? Okay, John. Let me unmute you there, John. Okay, you're live.
Ready to go? Okay, well, I have somewhat of an advantage in that I missed the live, so I just watched a few minutes ago, finished Saturday's recording, so it's pretty fresh in my mind along with the notes. And here's what I took away that someone said, and I don't know who to give it credit to, but you look at people not through fat goggles, but you look at them in the sense of, are they good for my business? And is our business good for them? I like the two-sided concept there of the same coin.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and I would even expand that to even, are they going to add value to Optavia? What we do as health coaches, and will Optavia add value to them? Excellent. Yeah, thank you, John. Next, Denise Gray, you're up. Let's see here.
Yeah.
There you are.
Yeah, I was impressed with the people who can do, should do, and won't do. And that made an impression because it makes it easier to salt them. And it just makes it easier when I'm looking at my list on who I want to be spending time working with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about Lonnie Drollinger, the famous Lonnie Drollinger talked about creating a list of people that are in category 1, which is the people that do, the people that are already doing stuff, that get out there and do stuff, and try to get your list of those types of people to 20 and carry them around with you. Have them be on your mind. If you pray, praying for those people, praying for opportunities to make a connection with those people, making sure you're in their world, commenting on their Facebook pages, so that you guys, if you don't comment, if you never talk to somebody on Facebook, Facebook will assume you're not friends, and they'll stop letting you see what each other is doing. And so you want to comment and stay and interact with people that you want to interact with. I know it sounds silly to say that, but it's true. All right, Susan, you're up next. I'll unmute you. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm saying about the same thing you just did, but the people with influence, connecting with people that have lots of influence around them and lots of connections themselves, just sort of hit me alongside the head. The people who don't go out and don't meet new people aren't the doers.
Yep. They still have value as human beings because of
absolutely.
Community. But yeah, you think about it. Do you want people that, if you're doing something that involves work and involves relationships, you want to find people that's a life-giving activity. And some people that would be a life-threatening or life-taking activity. They don't like that, and they just aren't good for this particular type of thing. So great insight there, Susan. Yep. Who else? Anybody else have any insights? I'm curious if how many of you were already did the Saturday training with the work group already. Yeah, so a few of you. Okay, so there's many of you that didn't. Good. I'm glad we're having 2 sessions for those of you that couldn't make it to the Saturday one. And make sure that coming to the live training is pretty important, because we do some interacting stuff, but making sure you get to one of the work group sessions is really valuable, because this is where we actually put what we learned into practice. And if you can't attend the Saturdays, make sure you actually watch the recording and then come here ready to go for for this work group session. So excellent. Well, today then, a couple of other details is we're going to actually get in and do some of that work, making our list. The goal is to, whatever list you have, if you have a list of 100 people already, you may actually go down and categorize those people with what you know about them. You may not know for sure, but if you have an idea, are they a doer? You know, are they a can do, but maybe aren't doing? They should do, but they won't, you know, they're not, or they'll never do it, you know. And think about your list, because if you go, it's nothing personal, but if somebody says, I am not interested, I will never do that, right? Then continuing to say, will you do this? Will you do this is kind of not, maybe not a good place to spend your time, especially if you spend time with those types of people. Not to say they can't become doers. I said no a few times before I said yes. But what if you have people that are doers and want to do? They're already working on. I see a lot of people that we skip over the people that are already working on their health, and maybe maybe the system that they've chose isn't a system at all. It's a series of ideas and thoughts and articles and one-off sort of tricks, health tricks, you know, that they've kind of compiled into this sort of unruly, weird sort of health thing, right? And I know you got a lot of you are nodding your head because, right, there's those things out there. Oh, you know about coenzyme Q10 and, you know, and liverwurst. I made that up. And, you know, SPF 50. And you mix all that together, right? You know, I don't know. You know, it's just these strange things that people come up with. And then I had a guy I spoke to yesterday, and he's joined our team for the challenge. And he said, this has been his third challenge. And he says that he just went on a cruise and he came back from his cruise and he had gained 20 pounds. And he wants to be able to cruise and not gain weight. And I asked him what his program was, what, you know, and he kind of was telling me what his weight loss strategy was, which in his mind was his program. And I said, well, that's great. So it sounds like you're able to get the weight off. And then, but then when you went on the cruise, the weight came back on. So what is your plan for when you go on a cruise? I mean, do you have like a strategy? And he said, well, and he started pulling stuff out of thin air. Well, I'm going to work out more. Well, I'm going to do this more. You know, well, I'm going to do that. Well, what about sustaining your weight or your health for a long period of time and not going up and down? And so he starts to kind of modify his weight loss program in these strange ways. And then he added a bunch of exercise on there just to kind of, that's the icing on that'll fix everything, you know? But the reality is that ain't working for him. I mean, he's telling me it's not working for him. And so we just talked about what would it look like if you had a strategy that was really clear for losing weight, and you had another modified strategy that was really clear on how to maintain your weight. Would you like the simplicity of that? You know, and he said, let's talk. You know, let's talk about that, because that's what we're trying to do is make health. It's not easy. It's never easy. It can't be easy and still be good or valuable, because valuable things are hard. That's just the way it goes. And he said, you know, I said, we can give you something that is a simple system to follow, and then you can have great results. And so it was just a kind of an eye opener of trying to help people figure out what they're doing and what they want, and that many of them, what they're doing is not getting them what they want. So, all right. So those are, that's what we do. And so as you go down your list, a couple things we're going to do. We'll do a couple little sprint sessions here. In the first 10-minute session, you're going to try to add, you know, 10, 20, 30 names to your list. If you've already got a list that's big, that you've been working on for a while, work on what I would say is start off with categorizing your list, and then as names come to your list when you're working with it, just write those down too. Like, because you'll be working with a list of names and you'll think of new names. And so you can you can do that. Add those other names to the list, but categorize your people, 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's the people that do, the people that can do, the people that should do, and the people that won't do. And try to get your ones to get to 20 of those. So we'll spend we'll just do 10 minutes here for the first session, and then we'll come back and we'll do some salting potentially even today. All right. So
Craig.
get after it, guys.
Hey, Craig.
Yes, sir.
There was a question in the chat if you want to maybe address
Oh,
that.
thank you for your attention there.
How to delineate between a doer that would just be a client, or a doer that would be a client and potentially a future coach.
Yeah, and people that are doers, these are people that are taking action. These are people that are working on their health, or these are people that that are have a they're successful in life. They've started their own businesses. They've they take action in life. They're just people that take action. It doesn't really matter what the framework is. They're just doers. Becca Tinter is a doer, by the way. She was quite busy and had no time for at the time Take Shape, now Optavia. But Becca Tinter has reallocated her time to getting a better return on her investment from what she was doing before. Doug Wood, he's a doer, right? So think about people that are doers. Doug Wood was successful at doing furniture business, but he wasn't successful so he was a doer, but he was not as healthy as he wanted to be. And somebody had coffee with him and talked to him about doing something about that. And he said, sure. And he not only brought his health over, he brought everything over. And wow, it was a great job. So does that seem to answer the question? Okay, great. All right, thanks, Pat. All right, so let's get in. We'll do a 10-minute little blitz here, and we'll try to either get 10 names. You can get 10 names on there, or 10 or 20 names, and then you can also categorize your names if you already have some names on there. All right. Ready, go. All right, guys. So, how'd you guys do on that? Did you, I'm curious to see if, as you were someone that has organized their list, if while you were doing that, was what kind of revelations did you have or ahas, and did new names come to mind that weren't on your list? Anybody have an experience of that? Yes, John, go ahead. I'll unmute you.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
I took another look at my notes and remember Brian Drollinger saying to look at people in on where the people on your list, who they can lead you to. So
Yep.
I took a fresh look at people in my memory bank and my my list, and I thought, now these people can lead me to someone else. And I tried to think of, are they doers, active, busy in life, entrepreneurs, that sort of a thing. So that was very helpful to me.
Yes. This kind of strategy, if you're going to make health coaching a career for a long time, you think about it. You're gonna go through your close friends. Eventually, if you've been doing this 2 or 3 years, almost all your close friends are going to be healthier. Because they're your close friends. You will have rubbed off on them, and they're going to be aware of, and they're probably drinking more water. They're just influenced by the being around you. And so, if you don't have the ability to go beyond your warm market, your close connected people, then you'll be, well, it has nothing. Let's just not talk about you and your business. There's a lot of people out there that that wouldn't be getting helped because you wouldn't think of them, And so let's not make it just all about our businesses, because our businesses do nothing unless we help people. So let's just make it about helping the people. There's so many. I was thinking of today that one of the ideas about working with people is, it's not that I want to get specific people, to become coaches against their will. I don't want that at all. We have millions of people in America that are waking up struggling with their health. And quite frankly, we don't have enough coaches to help them all. So we're looking for people that will help us with the problem. We're looking to get America healthy for reals, and we don't have enough workers. It's like we're trying to, imagine if you had a flood, for those of you that live in Texas, and you have tons and hundreds of people in need, but you don't have enough support to come along and help them. That's an even bigger epidemic than this temporary situation we have in Texas right now. That's the reality of where we are. So we need more people to step in the gap and be a facilitator and assist people to that structured way of being healthy that works. So that's what we're looking for. And we don't know if they're that person. How will they know if they're that person unless they know what we do and how we do it? So anyway, a little bit of a sidebar there, but somebody else said that they had the same revelation about people's names. Yeah. Imagine if we worked with a bunch of people that were like Becca Tinter and Doug Wood, and, occasionally maybe a Terry Miller comes along, but imagine if we found these people that just get, fired up about health, and they're going to do it with or without you once they realize what it is and how amazing the experience is, and you can spend your time looking for those people, or you can spend your time just looking for people that have need but aren't that motivated. One of the famous quotes my wife gave to me is, work with the willing. And Terry Miller says, look for people who are looking for you, not to just have a need, but they're actually looking for a solution. And those kinds of people are fun to work with because they actually want it. So who else? Rita, go ahead. Let me unmute you there. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I think some of it too is it's really about the practice. So, we do talk to the people that aren't willing, and it's okay. It's not about us. And that's one of the big things, is not making it about me. I have to remind myself every day, hey, Rita, don't flatter yourself to think this is all about you, because it's really about getting the word out. And there's going to be a lot that just kind of like deaf ears, but it's the practice in saying it out loud. I got nervous, this switch from Optavia to, somebody said Optivia. I go, Mamma Mia, Optavia. But
that's good. Thank you. That helps.
but the shift from take shape to Optavia, and to really get that point across. But it's a practice, and if I'm a little bit stumbly, then I know that ones that haven't practiced, it is pretty, you get stumble over your words. It's okay. People are fine with that, but then you'll get to the ones that are willing. But you have to practice and not get stuck.
Well, we're going to do a bunch of that practice here. And the thing is that imagine if you wanted to play in a baseball game or a basketball game, and you didn't show up to any practices, but you really wanted to play basketball, and you got out there and, they threw the ball to you and you were like, crap, I don't know what to do with this ball. And you see that in games where the guy that has been practicing kind of runs over and you sort of hand it to him, right? You've seen that the sixth graders, it's because they're still building those skills. But the reality is that what you do have control over is how much you practice. You do. That's something you can set aside time and you can practice these things. You can practice talking to people. Write this question down. So there's these people that are the doers on your list. And there's lots of strategies you can have, but if you have too many, you don't actually have any. I don't know if you realize that, but if you have too many options, you really have no options, right? So let's just give you one strategy, right? On those people that you get to be the number ones, the doers, here's the question. Do they know what you do and how you do it? Just that simple thing. Not are they interested in doing it? That's not the question. But do they know what you do and do they know how? Because the way we do it is very different because the results we get are different. So we don't just, imagine if you were to go to somebody, I'm a health coach? Yeah. Do you have any idea what I do and how I do it? Like if you were to guess, ask someone that question. I'll bet you'll get some crazy answers. Well, I assume maybe you're a personal trainer, or maybe, you help people diet. Yeah, but what does that look like? What do you mean by that? Well, you help them cut their calories and work out more. That's what most people are going to say. And is that that's not even we're close to what we do. The 5-in-1 is not a low calorie program. It's just where we get the calories from. I don't know if you guys realize it, but the 5-in-1 is about a 3,000 calorie a day diet. But you're getting about 2,000 calories from inside and 1,000 calories from outside. But your body doesn't care where it gets the calories as long as it gets them. Have you ever thought about that? Yeah, it's a high calorie program. It's just we're getting them from inside where everybody wants to get them from, right? Lovely. Yeah. I don't need to bring extra calories. I've got them right here. So what do you do and how do you do it? And imagine if you just did a little contest where this week you were going to find 5 people that are on your number 1 list and you're going to ask them the question. I realize that a lot of people have an idea of what I do but don't know. And so I'm curious, do you know what I do and how I do it? And if you don't, would you be interested in knowing? Because everybody's coming across somebody that's looking to have a better health. And if you knew what I did and how I did it, I could be a resource for you. You could actually refer them to me and I could help them. So what do you do? How do you do it?
Hey, and Craig, if I can add something there, that's
Yeah. Good morning, Martin.
Good morning. Am I on?
I can hear you. Yeah.
No, my camera's on, so you can probably
Yep.
see it too, if you're on the right screen. You just made a key point there too, though, is would you be interested in knowing what I do versus let me tell you what I do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm not trying to get them, but it's like thank you. I think of other areas where I may not be interested in driving buying a Mercedes Benz or buying a four-wheeler, or I don't know whatever it might be. But going on a ride on a motorcycle, or going on a ride in a Mercedes Benz, or going on a ride in a sports car, it would be fun just to go out and experience. Wow, that was fun. Yeah, it's not for me, but now I know what that feels like. That was great. Right? Because imagine, there's a lot of things out there that are involving weight loss, temporary weight loss, diet things, tricks. And we offer weight loss till the cows come home. But that's not all we offer, because in the end, it's not what everyone really wants. They have to get the weight off as a precursor to what they really want, which is to be healthy. So, excellent. So now what I'd like to do is, on your list there, or does anybody else have put somebody on their list that they didn't see before, that some kind of a experience where you added someone to your list that you didn't have, that you want to share with us, and who that person was and how they got there? Yeah, Cheryl, let me unmute you there. Go ahead. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was unmuting myself at the same time you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I did is I opened up the contacts on my phone and just started scrolling through, because I've got probably 1,300 contacts on my phone. And there were some names there that I hadn't thought about. And I thought, and some of these people are doers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always looking for more clients, but boy, what I'm really looking for right now are coaches and people who want to take this and run. And so I added some people to my list that had not been on my list before.
Yeah. That's great. It's you think about it, you're looking for coaches, and in another way of saying it, you're looking for people to partner with that are like-minded, that you would love to do life with. Like, I would love to help people right alongside you, and I think that's wonderful. The two of the best places that I found to find people that I already know. Cheryl just mentioned the first one. They're not in your phone if you don't know them. How did they get there? They don't just show up there. And then what about, did you realize that you could go on Facebook and you can run a report of all your friends, and you can export that? And what if you took let's say you had a couple thousand friends, but some of you don't really know. And over the next year, you reached out to 5 of those people every day. And you said, I don't know if I know you, but we're Facebook friends. And so I must have met you, I know you somehow. Let's connect. Tell me, I want to know what you do and why you do it. What if you ask them the question? What do you do for fun, and what do you do for work, and why do you do it? I don't know. What if we made it just about finding out what they do? I love when I find people, by the way, that are into another fitness program or diet program or some other type of strategy out there. I had a lady that I found on Facebook last week, and she sells some kind of makeup stuff. What was it? Oh, it's Proactive, but Proactive is, I think now, the guys that did Proactive have now done some new thing, and it's a network marketing kind of a thing, and she's a distributor for it. My wife uses Proactive. I don't use it. Are you kidding me with this head? But they and so I said, I'd like to learn more about what you do. And it was amazing the response I got. Yeah, Roden and Field. Rodin, I don't know, something like that. And I said, I'd love to hear more about what you do. And I got 3 paragraphs of a text reply. And I thought, wow, was that interesting? How would I reply to somebody that says that? And so my reply to her was, thanks for the info. I'd really like to talk with you or meet with you and talk about it. And then her reply was, okay, when? And that was like, we could have gotten right to there. But she's not a health coach. She's distributing some face cream I mean, it's probably more glamorous than that, but that's what she does, right? So what if you found out people that were in health or beauty or fitness related types of things, and your job was to find out what they did and why they did it or how they did it? Think they might be interested in what you do and how you do it? Maybe. So anyway, just a couple ideas about making this not about you, but about finding out. See, that those people are doers, aren't they? They're out there doing something that's health related, that's not in direct competition of what you do. And so, man. So I want to share with you a couple things here. There is a Facebook group that we have, and I want to make sure that you all know about it. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to take a little tour over to the our boot camp page. All right. So I believe it's on the boot camp page. So it's called Boot Camp Work Group with Practice, right? And you should, if you're not part of this group, I'm going to go ahead and post this in the chat message, and then you can click on this link, and then you can request to be added to this top secret, private, cool kids only club. And we will let you join here. And one of the things that you want to look at is there is what we call a pinned post, right? Pinned post is at the top, and it says archives, and it looks, like all these boxes of archives. If you click on that, you'll go and you'll see here week 1, master lists and SALT, the boot camp, the work group AM session. And this is going to be actually, this is going to be the work group Saturday session. And then this is going to be the Tuesday session. And so, believe it, you probably are wondering, maybe you're wondering, why is there not a link there yet? Well, because we're recording it right now. And so that will go in there. And then we have some archives from the previous boot camps that we've done, just to keep the links in one place. But you want to make sure, I see that Connie and Randy have just asked to be part of the group. That's great. And so you want to go there and do that. And then I'm going to send you all a link to a comprehension. So I'm building it right now, but it's going to be a little Google form, and it'll be 4 or 5 questions that we're going to ask at the end of each week on to see what you learned, what is SALT, and you'll have to answer what that is, or these different things. And so each week we're going to have a little survey that you'll go in, and it'll challenge you to see, are you getting what we're teaching? Can you answer it? So there'll be a little bit of, we're not just sending info out there and hoping you catch it, but we're quizzing you. Did you catch it? Did you get this? Do you need more help? And of course, we're also doing the practice sessions with you. So what I'd like to do right now is, if you go down, okay, so secondarily is that we asked you to, when you created your list, so for those of you that have created your list today or added names to it, maybe you've started a new list, to take a snapshot, send it to your mentor, and then set up a time to talk through those people, those precious people that are on that list, and say, you'll go, how do you know them? How do you think you can connect them? What do you have in common? and you'll work through those things with your mentor. Don't miss out on that, because even though maybe you've been coaching for a while, take the time to build community with your coach, to talk through some of these names. It's not just about the activity, it's what it does in your brain when you do it. You get the creative juices flowing. You start to make a good connection with your mentor, right? They're getting to know the people that you're going to be connecting with. So it becomes very relational and very community based. So if you haven't done that, I just want to challenge you to take the time and do that. Do what we do, right? That's what we do. We are community. So go through those, and your mentor will say, well, how do you know Susie Q? Well, I went to high school with her, or I did this or that. Well, so what do you see on her Facebook page? What do you see that she's interested in? This or that, and they'll kind of help you with maybe how to approach them, how to connect with them. If you think they're a high quality client, and maybe they would have some insight as to maybe they wouldn't be one of your first contacts. I don't know what they'll say, but they'll just work through it and figure out a way to go connect with them. And then we're going to teach you basically a way to work your list next week. It'll be 2 weeks from now, actually, because next week is the holiday. So we'll start back up in 2 weeks. I believe it's the 9th. And we're going to go with the Facebook 3x3 campaign. So we're going to be continuing to build this this outreach to people. But in the meantime, what I'd like to do here, we're going to take about 5 or 6 minutes. And what I'd like you to do is, on that list of number 1 people, see if you can get out 5 hey, how are yas. Start conversations with 5 of those people. Maybe it's a text message. Maybe you call them. Maybe you send them a Facebook message. I don't know. But if you only get 1 or 2, that's fine. If you can get 5, that would be great. And just start conversations with 2 to 5 of those people and ask them. The first thing you would ask people, if you haven't talked to people in a while, if you talked to somebody yesterday, you don't have to say, so what's new? Or I haven't talked to you in a while, how are you doing? You wouldn't want to say that to somebody you talked to yesterday or this week. But somebody that you haven't talked to in a couple months, first thing you say, hey, I was thinking about you today, and I wanted to catch up. What are you excited about? What are you doing? What's going on in your life? How have you been? And so we're going to let's see if we can get 5 conversations started, probably text or Facebook message. But I just dare you to just do this. And you're not trying to sell them anything. I hope not, anyway. You're connecting. You're starting a conversation. How are you? What have you been up to? Susan's already doing it right now. See that? She was on her phone. I was just teasing her. All right, so let's spend 5 minutes and let's do that, all right? And then we'll come back and conclude. All right. So go for it, guys. All right, guys. So I'm curious, did you guys get any, how many connections did you make? Did you do it? Did you lean into it? Yeah, Rita, you're a professional. John, yeah, you've been, not your first. Tom, looks like you did some. Pat, anybody have any replies yet? Yeah, Pat, go ahead and share with us, Pat. I'll unmute you. Go ahead.
I had a couple of ladies on my list. I retired about a year ago, and I have lost touch with so many of my former work mates. So I texted them during the first 10 minutes, and so I'm going to have lunch with a couple of them next week. They've been on my list for a while, and I just need to touch base with them because I've lost contact. So I've heard back from one of them so far. So
great, perfect. Yeah, awesome. And whenever we get with these people, we feel like, thank you, Pat, by the way, we feel like, well, the reason why we met is because we're trying to do this thing with them. But what if that thing was to actually connect, find out what's going on in their life, and share what's going on in your life? So it's that mutual sharing kind of thing. You know, that's the goal, is to catch up on them. What's going great? What are you excited about? So excellent, Pat. Way to go. And you already have relationships with those people. That's perfect. Anybody that hasn't shared yet, I'd love to hear from somebody that hasn't shared. If you had a takeaway from today, or an experience where you connected with somebody. Are you feeling a little bit appropriately challenged to get out of your comfort zone? Deb, do you got something for us?
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm excited about looking at this with the filter of the doer. Normally, when I get the word out, I don't have filters. I just go for it. But I love this, the idea of being a tad selective, I guess you might say, with a little bit of scrutiny there. And so I only got 4 texts out. I haven't gotten any replies yet. But along the way, I'm kind of zinging with excitement, looking at it in a new perspective. And these are people that I think that I would be so happy with for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And that perspective is just endearing and very, it just seems like that will help my community thrive even more if we have harmony and excitement between us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I'm looking at it this morning. So thank you so much, Craig. Exciting.
Thank you for putting to words exactly what we do. Just nailed it. Perfect.
Craig, I have a
Yeah,
comment.
go ahead. Hi, Randy.
Hi. You know what? I haven't texted anybody yet, but just hearing this morning, all the great ideas that you've shared and other people have shared, I've added a bunch of people to my list, and I've actually made the doers category and the non-doers. I'm still, the non-doers are still important to me, obviously, but this idea of streamlining and thinking about those that are doers that would be coach material is amazing, because I never really thought about that before. I would offer it to everybody, and I've had a couple of several bad experiences with coaches because I didn't really put on that filter before we asked them. They became a coach and never really did anything, and then it's like, so we want to find the doers. I love this, and there's a whole bunch of people I'm reaching out today. Thank you.
Good. That's good. Yeah, you think about it, there's some people that are willing to coach, and there's people that are wanting to coach. They just don't know that they could. There's a big difference. To someone, well, if someone comes along, sure, I'll kind of help them, right? You have those people, and there's probably more of those kind of people out there. But then you have these people who are like, I'm always looking for a tip. I'm always looking for a new way to help somebody. I'm always trying to fine-tune my health. Those types of people, Optavia will be an asset to them, not a burden, right? I mean, seriously. It's like many of you. Nobody made you come today. You guys are all doers. You guys all want to be part of this. You're not just willing, but you're wanting, right? So look for people like you. You all look very different, by the way, right? I mean, you got multiple age groups here. You got men and women, a lot of men here. I love that. And the reality is that we've got a wide cross-section of people, but we have one thing in common. right? We're all not as healthy as we want to be, and we're all wanting to do something about it with others. Wanting, not just willing, but wanting. So way to go, guys. I really want to encourage you that if this is scary, oh my goodness, you got a present around the corner, right? Because scary things are good things, right? And so I really want to challenge you between now and well, it would have normally been this Saturday, but we're off this Saturday. But make an effort to make connections with people that are on that you care about, that you know, and that are doers, right? And go just get into their world. Go look at their Facebook page and see what they've been up to. Make a connection. Say, hey, how are you? You may want to write that down. Hey, how have you been? I know it sounds weird, but when we get into the moment, I don't know what to say. Just read, hey, so how have you been? And say it. Oh, it'll be so good. You'll take it from there. All right, guys. So there will be a form sent out to all of you guys that are in the Facebook group. I'll post it at the top. So make sure you're part of the Facebook group and answer the quiz, the four question quiz here. As soon as it'll be out here shortly, as soon as I finish it up. So thank you guys for your attention, and thank you guys for showing up and doing what you do. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.